you can milk anything.
Right.
This week on That Car Show, we talk about what goes on in Vegas, can be talked about in Vegas when Lindsay and Tori head out for a VW show with a difference. We talk about Ryan's ever-ending quest to drive the Diablo, which is always just one step ahead of him. Maybe this week will be the
A
week.
paradigm of reliability, the Diablo.
Paradigm of reliability. We also talk about coffee in Malibu and how LA racing for coffee vouchers could be. We talk about the end of an era when it comes to the VW Touareg. Even though the car may not have been available in the US for a little while, it's now been retired worldwide. This is a car that won 3 Dakars, had a diesel V10. We go into a little bit of detail around that. We also talk about up-and-coming articles that Ryan is going to be writing for Autoblog. Look out for some very interesting articles just around the corner. And we close off the show with some thoughts around a competition. How could you win the next Sheffield watch? Well, you got to listen to the show. You'll find out how, and it's pretty easy. So give us a listen on That Car Show.
That Car Show is brought to you by Sheffield Watches. Sheffield is the storied watchmaking brand that was revived a couple of years back by our good friend Jay Turkbus, and it's seen wild success in both the car and watch enthusiast communities. Sheffield offers a wide selection of watches, many inspired by the iconic designs of its 1960s dive models, most notably the one that Jay's parents gave him in 1970, which ignited his lifelong passion for watches. Sheffield watches are high quality, reasonably priced, and a great value. Sheffield has truly become the car guy and car gal's watch of choice. Order your Sheffield watch at sheffieldwatches.com. Give them a follow on the gram at Sheffield_allsport_watches and tell them That Car Show sent you.
Welcome to this week's That Car Show. It's another cruise show. The gang are back together. We've just been comparing notes on who are the board game champions, and it sounds like for
That's
Boggle
right.
it's Lindsay, and for Scrabble it is Ryan. I think I'm more of a Pictionary or charades person.
Yeah, okay.
Oh.
Yes.
Plus, you get to say it the way that's fun for us, charades.
That's right. Before we get started, I wanted to give a big shout out to our listeners in South Africa. So we are currently sat at 37 in the South African podcast charts for automotive. So how's it,
That's
brew?
amazing.
Let's have a braai, open up a dop, and we'll be around really shortly. So thanks everyone in South Africa. We appreciate you listening.
Thank you for joining us. It's awesome.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So anyway, let's start with what goes on in Vegas. Actually, to be told about in Vegas. Lindsay,
Right.
you've just come back from Vegas for a specific show.
That's
What
right.
are you doing?
This was one instance of what happens in Vegas doesn't stay in Vegas. So it was a show called One Crazy Weekend, and it celebrates Volkswagens in all their various forms and their enthusiasts. And the show has grown, I think this year it doubled in size.
Really?
I believe it's about 5 years old. And this year they had almost 400 cars. So
Really?
it was a big turnout. And, totally new for me because I've been in a different area of the car world. So it was fun to kind of explore a different corner of the car community. And one of the fun things about this show is that it's at a hotel in Vegas and they take over the parking lot. And so the cars are staged in the parking lot. A lot of people get in Thursday. The event starts Friday. And one of the things that we were most looking forward to is you get to hang out with the cars and just kind of catch up with your friends. And there's a little place you can go grab some adult refreshments should you feel so inclined and just kind of relax with the cars and catch up.
So, Lindsay, is this a Caesar's Palace type gathering? Is this like a circus type gathering, or is this
So it was
where's this
off
held?
the strip at a hotel called the Orleans. And yeah, I mean, it was Volkswagens of all forms. They had an amazing, and I think it was a 21 window light pink and white bus that, of course, was my immediate favorite outside of the family car, which was Tory built with Steve Knecht, who was a legend in the 80s building Volkswagens. They took a 1960 factory convertible and turned it into an 80s style roadster with actually kind of a Gunther Works style top over the back where
That's
the convertible
what
top
it
has
is. I was
been-
trying to
Yeah.
place it. It's
That
a
was the
Gunther
inspiration
Works.
was the green
Yeah.
speedster
Okay.
with
Yeah.
the two kind of cargo areas behind the seats. That was the inspiration for the top on the Roadster. So it was a car that had been started in the 80s and stalled out as a project. And they found it. They were talking about it at the event last year and found it just after last year's event and transformed it. And now it is just the coolest little, Tori described it as if a trapper keeper was a car. I mean, and obviously I'm dating myself with that reference, but a certain group of people will immediately know what I'm saying. It's a lot of neon and like tube design and just bright, really unique stuff. And it's a lavender car, and Steve hand airbrushed the neon tube design and the grid pattern, which was his signature. And it was really interesting, having been a kid in the 80s but not attended these shows, to see the 80s style display, which was color matched, tennis balls and the engine, which is what they would do for displays, so you wouldn't pull in particles because the car's just sitting there with the tubes open in the engine. Otherwise, a bunch of stuff could land in there. And color matched carpet and mirrors underneath to display, because they put as much thought into the pan as they do to the visible stuff on top. So it was amazing.
Are there awards? Are there categories and awards? Or
yes, there were. So there were, like, they had the heavy hitters category, and that was a wide variety of cars that were selected, and it was all different kinds. Like, there was one that had amazing patina, one Beetle that had amazing patina, and I think they won something. And then there was a bus that won, and the awards were these amazing medallions with the logo of the show, and they are so heavy.
Do you have one handy? Because you sent me a picture.
I could go grab it. Yeah, play the Jeopardy theme, and I'll go grab it.
Lindsay does have that. Was it Flavor Flav?
Yeah, it was along those lines. I think it was done in fun.
Yeah,
right? But it's a hell of a thing to behold. So if you don't know the name Tori is Lindsay's fiance, and I am slowly peeling back the onion that is Tori. Look at this thing.
Wow.
I mean, come on, that's epic.
Yeah.
And it's heavy. That's what's so crazy.
It's made from a VW.
It is a salvage, yes. And then it's got this beautiful Temu chain to complement the medallion. Great. So, yes. Obviously, that's not why they did the car, but it was fun to have it be recognized. And yeah, I mean, it was blazing hot in Vegas, which was a nice change from the Pacific Northwest. And it's cool. They set up, it's a weekend long event. And so they set up a bunch of different activities. And one of the highlights for us was they do a cruise along the Vegas Strip. So all of the cars that are drivable and the people that want to participate leave kind of en masse and go drive the Strip all together. And my inaugural experience this year was more memorable than we had anticipated because right after we left the hotel, Tori goes, "Oh, the throttle just broke." Oh. And so the barrel nut had come out of the throttle cable. Like, the throttle cable came loose, the barrel nut came off. So that is somewhere on the boulevard that we had pulled off onto. Oh. So we were able to pull over, walk back, because we were just a couple blocks from the hotel, walk back and take one off of a friend's car, walk back to our car, put it on, fix it, go do the cruise, and then come back.
Wow. So if anyone finds Tori's barrel nut, could you please send it to Lindsay?
Right. I can give you my mailing at the P.O. box. But it was like such a quintessential VW experience of like, it's going to be exciting. And, and I know a lot of cars are like this, but sort of the interchangeability of like, we know exactly what we need. We just can borrow one and then go do our activity and then bring it back.
So a couple comments, questions. So as I was saying, when you were grabbing that giant, medallion.
The medallion to end all medallions.
Yeah. Tori is really a figure, right? In the Volkswagen scene. I mean, every time I turn around, I find out some new achievement or whatever. And this car really was one of them, because he put this thing together, I'm sure with your help and, all that, but very, very quickly.
No, it was all Steve and Tori. I cannot take any credit for
weeks. It was a matter of weeks. And my big takeaway about Tori is, so I'm from Chicago, and Daniel Burnham, Chicago, if you're from Chicago, this phrase, make no small plans. And that's Tori. Most of us would have not seen that through, and
no,
damn it, he did it. I don't know where he finds the time in the day, but the car looked great, and won the award, and
And it's interesting because I think it photographs really well. Not all cars do, and you sort of lose a little bit in the pictures, even as well as this car photographs. Seeing it in person, and especially knowing, kind of being along for the ride the last few months and just seeing like a fraction of the work they put in, getting to see it in person was really cool because there's an element of like, yeah, you've seen it in person or I've seen it in pieces and pictures and whatever.
Sure.
And to see it all put together, you kind of go like, wow, it's really real. And it actually does live up to what it looks like in the pictures. And it's super cool. And then on top of that, he owns a car that was involved in the drag racing scene in LA called Bad Temper 2. Yeah. And that was the one that we actually drove. So it was cool to get to experience that because it's such a piece of history from that period of time.
So what's the status or the state of Vegas in 2025? You hear about, people
we were talking about that because there's a lot of talk about Vegas is dead.
Uh-huh.
It was packed. Like it was absolutely packed.
Don't believe what you read.
Several, like I can't even count how many times the light would turn green for us to go, and there were like pedestrian obstacles, presenting themselves.
Sober?
Certainly.
No.
In fact, I know someone that was there recently, and they said the rooms are like crazy expensive.
Yeah. And I had a friend who goes there for work probably in the last 6 months. And she ended up staying like well outside of Las Vegas. She said, I've never run into this before. Las Vegas as a whole was sold out.
Wow.
Interesting. Wow. Okay.
Like, I don't know how you do that. I never thought that could happen.
Yeah.
I'll be there in just over a week for the SEMA show.
Oh, nice.
The SEMA show.
Yeah.
It's been a couple years for me, but that's a scene.
I've never done it. So
I haven't either.
It's mind-bogglingly just huge, right? Like it's every hall at the conference center and then some. And I think I've told you this, but we went a couple years ago and we thought we'd be smart and not stay in a casino. And in fact, stay at the Marriott Courtyard right across from the conference center. What we didn't realize is they have drifting demonstrations from about 8 a.m. to midnight every day. So be careful where you stay, Dan. I'm
related to SEMA.
To SEMA, yeah. Basically just, makes sense. But after a while, that stops being so cool.
Yeah.
5 minutes.
Right. It loses its charm a little bit.
Yeah. Well, Dan, where are you staying? Do you know?
And it's the hotel connected to the conference. So
He's like Marriott.
I might have to buy some new earplugs.
And I see a lot of drifting in your future.
Yeah. I won't be drifting asleep. I know that.
No.
It's so Ryan, have you been?
I wish you good luck.
Yeah, thanks. I'll call you guys. You can listen to it. Have you been doing anything as exciting, Ryan? I know you've had a couple of false starts this week.
Yeah.
But what have you been up to?
God, I was supposed to drive that Diablo. So if you follow me on Autoblog, I was supposed to drive a Lamborghini Diablo like 3 months ago. And we get around like if you know Denver, if you know Golden Gate Canyon, Great Road, we get to about the third turn and the thing just breaks, right? Fortunately, I hadn't taken the helm yet. In the end, it was just some sort of shift linkage or something. It wasn't a big deal. But, Lamborghini Diablo techs are few and far between. And so it took a while to get the car looked at. And then once it was an easy fix. So I was supposed to drive it yesterday. It didn't work out. Going to drive it Friday. So I'm excited about that. I have never driven. That's one, I'm trying to check off the poster cars of my youth. And the Diablo is one of them. I was trying to come up with a good headline, and I think it's going to be something along the lines of making waves in the cigarette boat of supercars, because that's kind of the vibe when you get in that thing. It's a lot of fiberglass and rough edges and tons of power.
You could do something about the devil's in the detail.
That's. Well, let me. So
Copyright.
the headline right now is "The Devil's in the Details," and I'm in a Diablo, and then the deck, what they call it, sort of the subhead, is something along the lines of "This is the the cigarette boat of." Apparently, they don't call them cigarette boats anymore. You know this idea of a cigarette boat,
yeah.
right? It's a super powerful Miami Vice type.
Right.
Now they call them something else, and I don't know where ChatGPT is right now. Oh, I'm sorry, our
research department,
our assistant,
Right.
But I think they call them Go Fast boats right now, which isn't nearly as cool a name as cigarette boat.
Cigarette boats
No,
are cool.
I reject that immediately.
Yeah.
Vape yachts.
Vape yachts. Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah,
Go
apparently they're
fast.
called cigarette boats. But
No
anyway,
driving
that Friday I get to finally drive the thing.
Wow. And you washed your car last weekend?
This shouldn't be a news item, but Dan, you know, and Lindsay, you know, because we all have basically the same car, that, you know, we'd rather drive the thing than wash the thing, right?
True.
And I had so much brake dust on my, thankfully they're black.
Because you've been driving it.
Where you take the hose and there's just like this metallic like pool that just like goes down into the earth or whatever.
Right.
You know?
Like without any scrubbing, the wheels instantly.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. You're just like, ooh.
It was as dirty as it had ever been. But you know, I think it's a healthy thing to sit and commune with your car once in a while and to really, you know, wash it and take your time and get down on your knees and, you know, get into the wheels and you know, the best you can. Those Porsche brake calipers are impossible. There are lots of nooks and crannies. They're like English muffins, but you know, it's, I did it and it was good. And now I'm afraid to drive the thing again because it is so clean.
It's so clean. Yeah.
Yeah. It's good.
Give it a day or two.
Have you got protection on that car, or is it like a ceramic or?
Yeah, I have almost full PPF. Of course, it's now 5 years old. But I was told good PPF goes, you know, 9 or 10 years now. So it's not a huge deal to, and that's a good thing because I don't know that I could afford to wrap it again anytime soon. It's like a $5,000 or $6,000 proposition, right?
Yeah.
But well worth it. You know, and in this car, I think everything is covered basically except for maybe the doors. You know, you gotta save money somewhere. And then the wheels, I think, had a ceramic coating, and that helps a great deal in just being able to wash the thing. The whole car does as well, and you know that's super helpful. But did you opt for a PPF on your new 4.0 GTS?
I didn't. I had a ceramic coated.
Well, that goes a long way,
I kind of broke
sure.
the bank buying it. So the ceramic was just one step too far. Ceramic coat, you know, helps. You know, obviously, it doesn't protect as much.
No. It makes a big difference. Lindsay, have you guys done anything with your GT4?
It had PPF on it when we got it, and it's starting to fail in a couple areas, but we haven't had it that long. So yours is a 16, so it was probably done when it was new, I'm guessing, and so you probably got a couple of years yet. But I'm not sure because I know it was wrapped several times under previous ownership, and so I don't know how that works with PPF too. It may. I think the PPF is actually relatively new, and
it is.
so
okay.
I think just for whatever reason, there's a couple areas where it's lifting, it will need to be addressed before long.
We'll put it on BAT when that time comes, and it's not a problem. I have to say, speaking of wraps, I saw my first wrapped Polestar 2 today, guys. Just tonight on the way home from Target. You know, Polestar 2s are generally driven by kind of, you know, I don't want to call them uppity folks, but you know, your middle class, your professors and your office workers and that kind of thing. Well, sure enough, I'm coming down the road and coming the other direction. I see. Do you know Porsche has this great color? I think it's called black gray. It's this. No. They did some of the like the 997.2 GT3 RS is in this color. Or gray black, maybe it is. It's just this very, very dark gray. And it's this great color. Anyway, I see this Polestar coming. It's wrapped in this color, and I know it's wrapped because it also has a racing stripe and a giant number 2 and a gumball on the. It didn't.
You just
quite
want to
work.
go like, okay, tell me everything, right? Like,
and there was like a young man driving it like it was a slammed Civic or BMW or whatever, and I the jury's still out, but I had never seen that. Now I have seen it. Maybe it'll become a thing as prices come down, as lease cars are returned. I don't know, but
I feel like credit for trying.
Yeah.
We appreciate the enthusiasm.
I mean, it's what was it? Is it Meet the Parents or whatever? Where you can milk anything,
right? Like, hey, doesn't necessarily mean that you should, but anyway. So this gray black, is it like a metallic, like super dark gray?
No, it's a flat color, right? So think of like mirror blau, right? Like that really dark. It's Jeff Zwart's favorite color and mine. Think about like the gray equivalent, where it's very, very dark, not metallic. It's not quite black, but just bring it back a notch or two. Yeah. It's such a good color. Yeah, I think it's gray black or black gray. John Deisty, Justin Underwood, if you're listening, you can clear the air here. But I don't know. I think maybe my Polestar needs a gumball, Dan.
There we go. What number?
This was number 2, which
you should just
insert your own joke there.
just get number one. And then he's like, every time you see him, you just give him the loser sign.
right.
That's right. Yeah, I don't want to drive number 2.
Or even more, you just do the wave and let him be
that's
wait.
the thing. I thought it was like when you see another Porsche and you 9 times out of 10, maybe not in a Lease Macan or something, but if you're in a Porsche sports car, 9 times out of 10, 99 times out of 100, you're going to get a wave, you're going to get a flash of the lights, you're going to get something.
Yeah.
So I looked over, like ready to be like, "What's up?" And the guy with his hat on, to the side, he didn't even look my direction.
Right.
Sounds like a missed opportunity to me.
I don't know.
Moving on.
I was down in Malibu last Sunday.
Yeah.
Yeah, how was it?
Good. It was good to get a morning to just go for a drive. And I
In the
decided to
Porsche?
in the Porsche.
Nice.
Decided to go down. And I'd got given some voucher for a coffee shop I'd never been to before. So I thought I'd go get a free coffee. So
Yeah.
I pulled into the car
Voucher
park.
coffee.
Yeah. I pulled into the car park and I knew I was in good company straight away because there were 2 hot rod 60s or 70s 911s.
Nice.
One of which belongs to a friend of the show, Bill Wolfson.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Good to see us. Or
So
I got to see him at Car Week this year.
hear your name,
Yeah.
rather. Yeah.
yeah, so I literally pulled up and there were GT3s, there were 2 speedsters, modern speedsters, 991s.
Nice.
So I pulled up, not awake, needing coffee, and the first thing I hear is, "Hey, Danny." I'm like, what? Who's he talking to? And it was Bill.
Nice.
Oh my gosh.
Nice.
And he'd obviously
like
recognized
Bill.
me from Instagram and stuff. So, but there was also a famous racing driver there. Who I didn't really know who he was, but Kurt Wagner.
Or Wagner.
With the
Yeah.
name, yeah.
Yeah, he's raced Ferrari.
He's a 6-time champ, and of course I'm blanking on the series. But yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
So
And
was there.
he's done some work with Galpin, I think, and yeah, he's in the mix.
Yeah.
Nice.
So it was
Did you guys
a
go
good
for a
little-
drive after or anything? Or
I
because
unfortunately
you know
had
what?
to meet.
Court leads in that.
Does he? You just let Cord lead. Otherwise, he's
I don't know
gonna
the
lead.
man, but he leads.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know I had to meet up with the guys who do the Dream Drives for Kids. So
right.
Oh,
Amity
nice.
and Eric at the.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I literally didn't have time to go for a drive this time around, but it was a nice drive down the coast to get down there and back.
Excellent. Excellent.
Yeah. So do you want to share where you were, or are we keeping it quiet, keeping it to yourself
Sounds
for a
like the
little
next
bit?
big thing. I'm
Yeah.
gonna be honest
Which
here.
bit? Oh, where's the name
The-
of
The
the
coffee
The
shop.
coffee shop.
Yeah, I want a voucher. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's. I can't remember the name of it. I think it's Lux.
Cafe
Okay.
Lux. That's what I was
Cafe
going to
Lux.
guess.
Ah,
I
okay.
love-
Okay.
Is it?
I
You know
love
it?
there. Yeah,
Oh.
Cafe Lux
Yeah,
with
it's
2
in the
Fs.
shopping center there, right?
Yeah.
Like in a little strip mall thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cafe Lux. Shout out to Cafe Lux. And the coffee was really nice.
How
It's
does one
really
get one
good.
of these vouchers, Dan?
You have to go to a top secret singer evening event.
Because it sounds very curated. I'm going to be.
It's
But
a
yeah,
cute place, and the baristas are always really friendly, and the coffee's good, and it's a
Pastries
nice.
were really good.
Yeah,
Say that again.
nice.
Pastries were really good.
Yes.
And I don't know if
And
you
they-
caught that, but that was the singer event. Is this
It may
okay
have
with the
been a
NDA
goodie.
you signed, Dan? Is
Yeah,
this...
I think so. The goodie
Okay.
bag is up for discussion, I think.
Go on.
Singer coffee.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
Have you tried it yet?
I gave it to someone actually as a gift. Not like a, hey, I bought this for you. Like a, here, have a free bag
Right.
of coffee.
I got this for free. Would you like it?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't have a grounding machine or anything.
That's going to be worth like $1,000 someday, that bag of Singer coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah. You be careful.
Well, I mean, everything's important, right?
Yeah.
Especially Singer
Nicely
coffee.
done.
Yeah. But we got hats. We got baseball caps with
Nice.
Singer and Willow Springs written on it.
Nice. nice.
I think it was a lovely book of the photographer. They had a photographer out at the track a few months prior, a really famous photographer whose name escapes me, but a lovely book of his work, which I've given away to another friend. So lesson here is just being
like
generous.
Gandhi.
and- Yeah,
I was going to say, the lesson here is be your friend and just hang around
Right.
at the right times.
yeah.
Oh,
If you like
Lindsay, don't
coffee.
worry. When I helped Dan move, I walked away with all kinds of goodies.
What did you get? I think
He's like, I have party favors for you. Get
I'll
excited.
show you what I got. Well, one of the things was a Porsche keychain.
which I didn't
Ooh.
know, but I need that now.
Well, it's literally got my alley padlock key on, so I'm happy to give it back.
Myers Manx pullover.
That's here on the shelf, like a piece of art.
Yeah,
Oh,
Because
nice.
it was a little tight on me, to be honest.
I almost wore
And me.
mine tonight, and I was like, what if Ryan wears his? And then we're twins.
Yeah. Did you notice when I wore that on the show, it was from about here up? There's a reason. I look like a sausage.
That's amazing. We probably have the same size because when I put it on, I look very 80s. It's very like oversized, flash dance ish. So I think they were
Very
one
good.
size fits all or
Okay.
thereabouts.
I have no doubt it looks better on you.
Yeah, so it's a really good coffee shop. I would highly
Excellent.
recommend it. I think there's a few of them in California.
Yeah,
but
there's a
the
few
one
different
in Malibu,
locations.
Yeah, on a Sunday morning, and I think I was there pretty early. I think it opened at 8, and I was there for opening. So
Living the dream, man.
there was another place up in the hills that they go to in a drive afterwards.
Yeah.
I can't remember the name of it. Like
Oh,
the old place or the old farm or something.
Old Place. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
another destination in Malibu because I think it's back in the canyon. I haven't been there, but I've heard of it.
Yes, so that's on the list. So next time it'll be starting at that coffee shop and then going up to the old place.
Oh, nice.
So when
like a
I'm in
perfect
LA
day.
for the auto show, we have some driving to do.
We do.
There you
There's
go.
good vibes that needs to be done as well, right?
Absolutely.
So
know.
shall we break into some news?
Let's do it.
So the first one I was looking at today is, can you believe that the Touareg, the VW Touareg, has just been retired, but it went on for 24 years?
Dan, I had to look that up to make sure that was right.
Yeah,
It's true.
24 years.
Yeah.
That seems like a very long time, especially because I can't remember the last time I saw a new one on the road.
Well,
Yeah.
we never got the third gen in the U.S., right? We only got the first two gens, which were basically, I think, it was a facelift. But that was a
So
hell of
that
a
will be
thing.
why. That will be why
Yeah.
we haven't seen them for a while.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that explains it.
But do you
yeah.
remember
That third
they did
gen
a-
wasn't so good looking, to be
Yeah,
honest.
they
so.
did a V10 diesel in that car.
Yeah.
That's very European.
Yeah.
That's a hot item if you can find one. That's
I'm guessing it was part of the Piek when Piek was in
Yeah.
charge. He had all these different cars commissioned, didn't he?
so that in the U.S. came out in 2002, right? The Touareg.
Yeah.
Okay. And I think we've discussed this before. It was named after a band of, I don't know, merry
Misfits?
travelers or something in the Saharan desert.
Like a tribe, wasn't it? Like a-
Yeah, right. And plus, Volkswagen has this T thing that
Yeah.
that they do, And don't be confused with the Tiguan because the Touareg was really something special. Tiguan, fine car, owned one, as you know, if you've listened to me and listened to the show for a while. Had one up until a couple years ago, fine thing. But the Touareg really was something special. They shared a platform with the Cayenne. They also shared the Cayenne's locking differentials, right? To your point, Dan, there was a whole spectrum of powertrains. And this was 2002. And think back to 2002 Volkswagen, right? The Volkswagen lineup of 2002. And like, what was in that? I mean, that was like peak Volkswagen because you could still buy the Eurovan in the United States in 2002.
Oh, wow.
The new Beetle was still new, right? We still think of that as new. That's 25 years old too. I think they just called that last year or something. The Jetta that was like peak Jetta, right?
R32, was it the Golf R32?
Yeah,
That was
and
around
it
that
still had a
time.
manual.
Yeah.
The Passat. You could get the Passat with the W8.
Yeah.
The next year in 2003, you could get the Phaeton, right, with either
my
a
gosh.
V8 or a W12. Those are
Peak.
magic times for Volkswagen.
Oh, how the mighty have fallen.
Yeah.
So,
I mean,
Dan, I think Ryan and I, and maybe you were with Ryan, we've both seen that same Phaeton at the Peterson. I don't know if it's still lurking around or if it's part of the
lurking is
collection.
the word, but I love that thing.
I think it got sold. I don't know, but I think it got sold.
Yeah,
But you
that
don't see them anymore, do you?
No.
No, I mean,
So
it was such a rare sighting even in
Yeah.
the moment. And then so to see one within the last couple of years was like, wait, I've got to be imagining this.
No, and it was an excellent example, if I recall. And it was the W12 because you could also get them in the V8, And if you're not familiar with the car, it was like this Passat Extra, right? It was basically a Bentley, right? It had,
Well, it was their attempt at a luxury car, and it was equivalent, like at least to the consumer, it was equivalent to an A8 but it also had an A8 price tag. And I remember multiple people saying like, well, if I'm paying this, and unfortunately, if I'm not getting the cachet of the Audi label, but I'm paying an Audi price, like why wouldn't I just go buy the A8? And so it was a great car. I actually got to see them when they debuted. Speaking of our most recent episode with Andy, or our most recent non-bonus episode with Andy Steinhauser, I got to see it at the LA Auto Show when they debuted.
When it was new.
Yeah, when it first came out, and it was
Yeah.
striking. Like it was a beautiful car. But
Yeah.
the comment was like, okay, but it's not an Audi. So I think that was a tough thing for it to overcome.
Yeah.
We talk about when OEMs have just sort of like the perfect lineup, right? Like when all the stars align. We talk about early 90s Nissan, right? And the Maxima, the four-door sports car, the introduction of the Altima, the 300ZX, the 240SX, that OG Pathfinder with a little triangle window. Like, it was just, that was it, right? Like 1990 Nissan dealership, right? Honda, right? Maybe a couple years before that, when you'd walk in, or when they introduced the new Accord in 1990. And I feel like Volkswagen in the early to mid 2000s was about as good as Volkswagen ever got. And it's just, unfortunately, it's not quite the same anymore for a number of reasons. But that Touareg, to come back to that, was overbuilt like you wouldn't believe. I don't know if either one of you have ever driven one, but when we were shopping for our Tiguan, when the Tiguan was still a relatively new thing, I wanted a Touareg. I wanted like a 2-year-old Touareg, but we then wanted the warranty and everything else. Got the Tiguan, but even though they kind of looked the same, it was not the same. That Touareg was a rig. That was something you could off road. It was a special overbuilt thing, much like the Phaeton or the Passat W8 or what have you. And I don't know, pour one out, I guess, huh?
Yeah,
It's gone. They've also, I was reading today or yesterday, the ID Buzz is on hold.
Yes, I saw that.
Is this a tariffs thing? What is this?
It's demand.
Sales. Yeah.
Yeah, demand.
They're just not selling?
They're just not selling.
Which is a real shame because I liked it when I drove it.
Yeah.
So is it a
Yeah,
price
because you got to
thing?
drive one when we were at the Seattle Auto Show
Yeah,
last year.
which was probably this time last year, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was coming up. I think it was early November. But they had that stop sale on them with no explanation, and the rumors were that it was because they just weren't selling, and that they were trying to mitigate it by just saying like, oh well, we're going to pause sales. And so I wonder if this is kind of they've accepted like it's just not happening, and so they're like, we're just going to pause sales or we're going to pause the manufacturing because they're not selling.
So obviously, at the end of September, the credits ended in lots of states, and I wonder if that was the nail on the coffin for the moment.
It's a good theory.
I'm going to say, once they started slapping the vinyl wood on the side, a la PT Cruiser, I started questioning maybe the
days were numbered, were they?
State of things. It's a real shame because I've still only seen a handful out and about, and the whole family makes a point of, oh yeah, there's the new Volkswagen bus or whatever, right? They make a statement and they're cool, and I've not driven one, but I think they're neat, and what a shame, because we sit and we whine about where have all the interesting cars gone, right? Well,
But
there's
then we
an
have to be
interesting
willing to
car.
buy them when they show up.
Yeah, but aren't they like 80 grand?
Yeah, they're not
That's
cheap.
definitely on, yeah. It's an easy car to love, though, isn't it? Like, just to look at it.
Yeah. You can't hate on that, right? You have to look at that and smile. But I gotta say, other than when it was first introduced and they did that, it was the Californians parody on the Volkswagen, commercial. I don't think I've seen a bit of advertising for that thing since.
No.
I may have
I
seen
don't
a
know.
print ad or two, but
Yeah.
like, don't quote me on it. And I actually saw one on one of my road trips over the summer. I saw a solid black one, which was really unique and
that
striking.
would be cool.
Especially because most of them are the white with a color on the bottom. So to see one that was all one color and then black, it was the only one I've ever seen like that. And it was very stealth. It's like, oh wait, I think I could like really get into that.
I like that. Now I'll make a prediction that it will come back with an internal combustion engine, and can't call it the Buzz anymore. They'll just call it the Bus. But it'll come back. They've put too much investment in the thing. It's too good. I think they swung and missed with it just being only electric.
Yeah. I
Well,
think
and that would follow with a lot of, Porsche has retracted, like that's they're not the only ones that might be pivoting on that.
Yeah.
I think it'll come back, but I don't think it'll have an ICE engine. I think it will come back with much more range because I think that's what it needs.
Okay.
I think if you can get something that's got 500 miles out of it for a similar price, and I guess the timing there is just battery tech.
Yeah.
I think it then becomes more appealing. But I think I think it was like less than 300-mile range, if I remember rightly.
Well, you've got the room. It's not like it's some subcompact, right? I mean, you've got like that's the thing. You've got room for batteries in, right? Flat load floor and all that. So interesting.
But,
Well, and like you said, if it's not a cheap car, and if the range feels a lot more limited, that's a harder sell than if you've got something where you're like, like it's electric and it's a little bit pricier, but it's a really cool thing. And I know I can take it and go on these trips and not worry about it.
That's it. It's not a Nissan Leaf. It's a road trip car. It's got to be able to make road trips, right?
Right. It has to actually be able to take the trips.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, watch this space. I feel like we're saying that a lot with a lot of OEMs. It's kind of, we're going to look back on this time period as the sort of like, okay, we'll check back and see which direction they decided to go.
Yeah.
That Car Show is proud to partner with Drake Motorcars. Drake Motorcars is Denver's premier destination for exactly the kinds of vehicles that we like here at That Car Show. Think Velocity Broncos, Audi RS6s, Acura NSXs, and air-cooled Porsches. You can see their complete and constantly changing inventory at drakemotorcars.com and check out their amazing online reviews from all across the country. But our friends at Drake need your specialty car too. A sign of a good business is when there are more customers than inventory. So reach out to Drake too if you've got a great enthusiast car that just doesn't get driven like it used to. Find out more at drakemotorcars.com and let them know you heard about them on That Car Show.
Go on, Ryan.
Sorry, do you like my Derek Tam Scott collection?
I was going to say, I like
this evening.
I like
for
your
those
vest.
listening, do you want to explain what you're wearing?
Oh, sure. I've got a Colorado Grand vest. So
It's not a John Dicey knockoff, is it?
no, but I would take one of those too, preferably very large and on a T-shirt, maybe something sleeveless. So yeah, Colorado Grand, the famous Colorado Grand Aero, and we of course had Derek Tam Scott and Tatsu Otis on a few weeks ago, and then the following week there they were on the Carmudgeon show, as they should be, and resplendent in their grand gear. So I'm just
he's your fashion muse now.
That's right. That's right.
Perfect.
I think it's just my lifestyle muse. I think those guys have it all figured out. So. Those guys, when they came to the Grand, right, the rest of us from the Grand gear, they had their own OTS. OTS is their business. They had their own branded OTS gear on. They had, the rest of us were in these, vests and coats and things. They cut quite a profile in matching white, let's call them Italian valet jackets, right, for lack of a better, and
like that
just
cut,
very elegant and and so. Anyway,
next year,
I should be following their
that
lead.
Car Show jackets.
Right.
Yeah, I don't think the tailored fit is.
I don't think Italian ballet is the look. No.
But yeah,
I think
figure it out.
They're young. They're
workshop chic is the look.
There you go.
That's right.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Did you guys see that Leah Block has a new project car?
No, what is it?
So you need to go to Blockhouse Racing to check it out. But car of the moment, maybe. I guess when you sell a car, it becomes car of the moment is a GR Corolla. Yeah. So I know, Ryan, you've got one coming up in a couple of weeks. Leah Block is starting a project to modify one.
Nice. I think it needs that. I think it needs a little injection, right, of something.
Drive it first. Once you've driven it, then comment.
Okay.
Yeah,
I just feel like they were like the next big thing there for a minute. I just don't hear the talk anymore. It's I'll go on record. I've been a passenger in one. I've never spent any time as a driver, and I wanted to get one of the last 2025s before they were replaced with the 26 in the press fleets, because I understand for 26 there are some changes. And Dan, you may know more than I. You owned a GR Corolla. You no longer own a GR Corolla.
Right. Now it's cool.
Your timing is impeccable, Dan.
I mean, you liked it, but did you love it? Because if you loved it, would you still have it?
There was a logistics challenge. There was
Yeah.
like if I had loads of space for different cars and loads of money, then I'd have another one. Like
Yeah.
it's as simple as that, but I don't. So, 2-car solutions and 3 cars doesn't work, right?
No. And I'm excited to drive it in Colorado because I think it's such a great Colorado car, right? It's like a WRX, but with, more guts. And, this one's a manual, so I'm excited for that. And I'll get to spend the week with it. I don't know. I'm going to take it up in the mountains. We've got some snow. Probably has P4S's or something on it. But
Tires. Yeah.
yeah, I'm looking forward to beating on it a little. I'm looking forward to driving it responsibly.
Yeah.
I'd like to go on record as saying I will be fully respectful of the car. The end.
Absolutely. I am. But
Yeah.
I could never hurt a car.
No.
Yeah. I'm excited to see what you think of it.
Yeah,
so that's
I am
why
too.
I'm bringing
I am
up
too.
Leah Block's pick one. She's working on one, and
That's really cool.
What's she going to do with it? Like, is it a powertrain thing? Is it a styling exercise? A little bit of everything? Like, what's...
I think if you look at the history of the cars that she's had, like, she had an Audi short wheelbase, for example, they go to town and they do everything. So,
excellent.
Yeah. But I mean, Johnny's already done that, hasn't he, on his car?
That's right.
Have you been in his car, Lindsay?
I haven't.
No.
Nope. But I love the blue.
Yeah. This is Johnny Lieberman, who was on the show, and he has customized his GR Corolla.
There's nothing left untouched, I think, right?
Pure and...
Yeah,
Sounds
in
like
fact,
it.
some things have been done 3 or 4 times.
Yeah, because he was getting, what was it? They were sending him, I think, like the USB, and they were flashing it daily and then looking at the ratings and then adjusting. And it sounded like they were having a lot of fun with that.
Yeah, that's good.
I'll definitely report back.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's true or not, but this story appeared in Top Gear Philippines. And
that's how you
so
know it's true.
We're big there too, for the record.
That's right. We're at number 68 in that chart. But they shared a story about a couple in the UK, actually, who are very near to where I went to university.
Oh, really?
And what do you do when you celebrate 70 years of marriage?
Go buy a 911.
You go buy a 911, but you go buy a GT3.
There you go.
So if this story is true, it's probably the story that has broken the internet this week in terms of just a heartwarming story about how, you celebrate 70 years together by buying one of the best sports cars you can buy.
Yeah. I wondered if this was true. I think it was my dad who first sent this to me. Like, I get all my best, news items.
You really do have your own research assistant. It's just your dad.
Yeah.
It's a real live boy. But this couple in the picture, like when you see an AI generated image, you just can't quite put your finger on it, uncanny valley or whatever. And just these two were just too perfect. And I think it is legit. I think this is a real couple. But now it's been picked up and kind of like a copy of a copy, and people have added new twists to the story.
They're embellishing the story.
New jokes, because it's like the cutest looking couple, right?
Right.
But then the article you sent me, Dan, said that, but this is nothing new for them because in 2015 they picked up a new TTS or something, or TTRS, and they drove to Norway and back. So,
but then 92.
I know.
I mean, good on them, And if they are fake, people are having relationships with chatbots now. I mean, this can be my chatbot spirit animal, these two, It's
we wish them the best, whether they exist or not.
It was funny because it prompted me this morning to text our friend at Porsche Colorado Springs, and I asked him, what is the oldest person you've sold a car to? And he said, well, I once sold a car to a guy who was half blind, and the next day his kids brought the car back. So names will stay anonymous, but we know who you are, John.
Yeah. Well, you hear stories like this, and this would never happen with John or at Porsche Colorado Springs, of course.
Right.
But you hear stories about, some guy walks in and, walks out with 3 different undercoating packages, this kind of thing. But these two people seemed like legit. They seemed, if real, like the real deal. And I mean, why not,
I mean, I saw it and I just loved it so much. It was like, what a perfect way to celebrate.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good on them. That's what I say.
But is it a stick?
Don't know. In the picture, I'm looking at the picture now. There is a stick, but it's one to walk with, I think.
Oh,
You got to refine your question, Ryan.
No.
If you look in the back corner, there is a walking stick in that picture.
Well, this is a couple. I'll give them a pass if they go PDK.
I think they look like PDK drivers.
At this point, they may have been manual drivers in the past.
Yeah. Well,
Nobody's going to begrudge them. Yeah, exactly.
Well, if we're so lucky, right?
Right.
Doing the same thing. So good on them.
Yeah.
Maybe we get them on the show. Have you seen them on Spike's Car Radio yet? Because I haven't. I mean, let's lock this in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dan, they're from your town or your.
They are from my university.
Make it happen.
You
must know.
Go find them.
He's going to come back and be like, so they don't exist, but it's fine. I really hope they do exist.
It's the best story ever.
Story.
It's the best story.
It's the story you want to exist, isn't it?
Absolutely.
The story that you want to happen.
Absolutely.
Especially as car people. And it's like the intersection of car people and hopeless romantics. And you're just like, yes, I love all of it.
Yeah. Yeah. I want to say mic drop, but when you're 92, maybe that's not the phrase to use.
Yeah. It's just drop.
Jeez. Oh, no.
Oh, man. I know. I hope it's real, and I hope they're enjoying the hell out of that car.
Should we make it competition time?
Yes, let's do it.
Yeah. So in the latest round of winning a Sheffield watch, and just to be clear, right, this is a watch of your choosing. It's not like we're going to make you have one that's, not selling or anything like that. This is like you can go onto the website.
Yeah.
You can say, I want that watch.
Yes.
And if you win the competition, we will get that watch sent to you.
That's right.
So what we thought we would do this week is something slightly different. So, these are high value, really good watches. We all wear them, we all have them, we all take them out. So we want to make your work a little bit harder and a little bit differently this time to win the watch. And what we would love you to do is please drop us a comment on either Spotify. I nearly said Shopify for some reason, but Spotify.
The ads are working.
That's right.
Temu.
Drop us a comment on Shopify on the show, not my just personal playlist, but on the show, and just give us some feedback. Maybe it's a guest that you want to see on the show. Maybe it's a show you really enjoyed and you're just commenting about that specific episode. Or you can do the same on Apple Podcasts. So they're two main platforms. And then we will take all those comments. We will pick one at random and notify you that you've won a Sheffield watch. And if you want to have a look at what watches you could win, go on to sheffieldwatches.com. I'm really enjoying the Rally, which is one I received about 3 weeks ago. I've got the Spikes Car Radio one on today, but I'm really enjoying the Rally. I think it's very unique. Lindsay, you got a pink one recently, is that right?
I did, and I have been reaching for that more than anything, which won't surprise anybody that's watching us because I'm wearing a sweater that's bright pink too. And all of the Sheffield watches make me smile. That one in particular because it's so bright, especially in the Pacific Northwest where it has now gotten gray, for the duration. So it's nice to have some bright pops of color. But I've also been reaching for my Spikes Car Radio because it's just so classic and, goes with blue really well. So I really love all of them.
Ryan,
I wear the yellow. Yeah, the yellow QL1. I wear more than probably any other watch. And one could say it's just because it's a quartz watch with a battery and I don't have to set the time, but it's super low profile. It doesn't snag on stuff. It looks good. I get more comments on that thing. What is that? Because it's got the dial that's, what are we calling that dial? It's a pilot's dial. Yeah, it's just where it's kind of at an angle and I don't know.
It's designed to be worn on the inside of your wrist, right?
Which I do not do, but
part of the so when you're driving, instead of having to turn your wrist, you can just look up. And,
I'm going to try that the next time I'm driving.
There we go.
I'm going to just see what that's all about.
Try it back.
And then flash it to number 2 in the Polestar.
Do the wave with the hand that has the watch on the inside. There you go.
So just in summary, if you want to win a watch, we're going to pick at random, but you've got to put a comment on either Spotify or Apple Podcasts, and it's specific to our shows. So put a comment about either future guests or something you would like feedback-wise or something that you've really enjoyed. So that's how you could win.
Yeah, and best of luck to everyone.
Yeah. Indeed.
And if you win, Dan will show up at your door with a giant check. And Sheffield. Did you have that in the UK? That was like such a part of our television landscape in the US growing up, right? Between like Publishers Clearinghouse and
no, we didn't. We used to get the TV commercials where the dude would turn up and promise to turn people's whites even whiter with detergent.
We had that too.
Yeah.
That, and we had the woman that would show up and talk to you about dish soap.
Yeah, there we go. So if you don't comment on either of those two platforms, we'll send someone around to talk to you about dish soap.
Rough you up a little
bit. Really, everyone wins is the way it works.
Yes. What have we got coming up? Anything exciting coming up, folks? Apart from the Diablo, which he's milking till the cows.
Yeah, that's my.
He's just going to sit there with devil horns. He's like, I don't know if you know.
Lindsay, what have you got coming up?
I'm going to try. This weekend is not looking promising. It's looking like it's going to be a lot of precipitation up here, but I'm going to try and get out for another drive as soon as it's sunny and I have the time, because it's not below freezing yet. And I feel like I want to, ring the driving season for as much as I can, at least.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. And nothing over and above the Diablo is going to be the highlight, right? But what else have you got?
I'm going to do the same. I mean, the driving season here in Denver is, it seems like a bit of an extended summer. But eventually we're going to see some snow. It's getting down to freezing at night. If you live in Denver, chances are you have a sprinkler system, and then there's this ritual in the fall of blowing out the sprinkler system, and so that has happened. So that's kind of the telltale sign, the beating heart of winter, and so I know it's around the corner. So I want to go out and drive as well. Big Fuel Fed. If you live in the Denver area, I'll give a plug to Fuel Fed. Fuel Fed has the final Boulder. I'll never remember what they call the thing. It's not Cars and Coffee, Cars and Caffeine, or Caffeine and Cars, or whatever. It's on Pearl Street in Boulder. That's this Sunday, and I'm going to try to make it to that. Always fun, and last one of the season, right? I mean, it's.
I think, you guys are having a longer season. I think all the Cars and Coffees here have pretty much wrapped up.
Really?
Yeah. Well, I might go down on Sunday to Malibu and the coffee shop. Yeah. Maybe I'll get enough courage to challenge Court to pink slips. Who knows? We will see.
So tune in next week to see who won.
Or where Dan's car has gone.
Or at least coffee vouchers.
Yes. But race for coffee vouchers. I like that. That's less risk, isn't it?
That's so Malibu.
Right. That's a bit safer. I feel way more comfortable racing for coffee vouchers than racing for pinks, right?
Yeah.
It's good coffee.
Could that be a title for our show, Racing for Coffee Vouchers?
Yeah.
Good boy. It could be.
That's how Southern California is that. Like, talk about tying up cars, like tying together cars and coffee in the best way.
Yeah. Yeah. Was there anything else people wanted to talk about this week?
I thought it was really interesting that you brought up the Toyota bringing the Century, or turning the Century as into a brand here.
Yes.
In the States. It's been a car in Japan. And at least one of the articles I was reading about it, I was really intrigued by the way they were talking about what they are hoping to do with the Century brand, and particularly in relation to the Lexus brand.
That's the question.
Because the way, at least the interview that I read, they were talking about the intent is for Century to be thought of as kind of the premier luxury brand, so that Lexus can be, quote, freer. And what struck me is, Lexus has built up this kind of loyal following over the years, and they've been known as, to me, the way they were describing the Century as kind of this peak luxury brand, and that's what they stand for, and it's quality, and people know they're dependable, but also really nice cars. And so I'm curious, I'd love to know kind of the backstory on that, because with Century being a new brand, I was reading it going, well, wait a minute. So you're going to try and seemingly give the market share of Lexus to Century, and then have Lexus go off and be who knows what. So I'm curious to hear your thoughts.
Don't you think? Yeah, don't you think that Lexus has progressively gotten sportier, right, and sort of gotten further away from its luxury roots? So I think that's where Century comes in. That said, it's a weird, if you've been to Japan, if you're a JDM person, you know about Century, but 99% of Americans don't, that doesn't mean anything to them.
Right.
Right. So
Yeah.
Century almost sounds like, I mean, there was a Buick Century, right? Like, I don't know if that name is necessarily hitting for me, at least as an American. But
No, I think it's
what do you
evoking the
think, Dan?
Buick. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I
I
think
don't know. Like,
if you're going in above Lexus, right? I mean, famously, when Lexus first came out, like people like Porsche took in Lexuses to test,
Yeah.
and they would use them for noise testing
yeah.
specifically. So they set benchmarks really early on.
Right.
So why do you do away with that? You know, all that hard work that's gone in, and I can only think that Lexus then becomes more of a lifestyle brand. So it becomes the brand for golfers, or the brand for people that like to go off-roading, or the brand that, you know, people who I don't know, play tennis. You know, they are sporty, but they still don't have, I guess, what I would call really sporty cars. They're
heavy,
luxury cars. They were
yeah.
like GT cars. You
Yes,
know,
yes.
I had is it the LC or the LS 500, the convertible
LC,
V8?
right? Yeah.
Yeah, LC luxury coupe. There we go. But they're not sporty. Like they're not Porsche sporty, or they're not.
Right.
But I think if they go lifestyle, but I think you know, establishing a new brand that's luxury and probably going up against Mercedes Benz, it's like
Right.
a tough gig.
Or even
Well,
Bentley.
especially
Or,
because
Yeah,
they've invested so much in Lexus, which I think up to this point does hold its own with kind of the big name, you know, longer running luxury brands. So I'm really curious to see how this plays out, because I went, yeah, you've done all this work to establish Lexus and it has this market share and this loyal following.
yeah.
And yeah, it's fascinating.
Will they do a V12, which they're known for in Japan, right?
really.
They do a
Still.
V12 Century sedan or something, at least for a short time. It's an interest. You know, they're still one of the V8 holdouts, right? I mean, if you want a V8 in a car, right?
Yeah.
You know, Lexus is really one of the few brands you can get something like that. It's interesting. Back in the day, Dan, I don't know in the UK, but Lindsay, you remember when Infiniti and Lexus were new, and you know,
Right.
Infiniti very famously had their naturalistic sort of like, if a haiku were a car, right? It would have been Infiniti,
Right.
you know, and at about the same time that Lexus was a thing, and they totally aped the S class, you know, down to the headlights and everything else. You know, were you Camp Infiniti or Camp Lexus back in the day? Did you have a favorite? Because
I was more camp skeptic because, like you said, I remember when those
good
brands came into being,
Yeah,
and it was
yeah.
very, like, up to that point, luxury cars had been really Mercedes and BMW, and Audi was there, but didn't have, you know, nearly the market share.
no.
You know, so I remember just kind of going like, well, what is this? And in a lot of ways, they were just rebadged Toyotas or, you know, Nissans, and then Honda had Acura, obviously. And it was like, well, is this really a thing? Like, is this going to be a going concern? And obviously the cars became more differentiated, the luxury brands versus the sort of standard models. But yeah, initially it was like, you're paying a lot of money for a name, like a different badge. So yeah, that's my, I was
Dan,
team skeptic.
Did you have the two options in the UK, and were they called Infiniti and Lexus, or?
Not early on. Early on, there was just Lexus.
Okay.
So Infiniti came much later. I think because they were also part of the Renault group. And we did. I don't even know if we had Acura. I think we had Acura, but not. It was all Honda. Like for us, the NSX was branded Honda, whereas it was an Acura over here.
Well, I think back then too, you know, that Infiniti really styled themselves after BMW. Look at the Q45. That was a 7 Series, right?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, that I think was the distinction, that Infiniti was always the sporty brand. I mean, when was the last time I heard anything about Infiniti, really? You know, and Acura, like Acura's not on my radar anymore, but yet I've driven a couple new Acuras, and they're fantastic. They're like the Honda of yore, right? Like they still have that inherent goodness. But I feel like, I guess what I'm getting at is Lexus is really the only of the three that really is kind of relevant currently, right?
Yeah.
So it's strange to me that they would roll the dice with it, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's what it felt like reading, you know, what they're hoping for. Like, is this really the way we need to be going?
That said, send us some Century Press cars when they're
I
out.
know.
And
Yeah. V12s.
V12s,
I mean, the good
please.
news is with Toyota is, they're the number one, aren't they? They're
they're
the
healthy.
highest performing automotive company in the world. So, they can afford to try some things, take some risks.
Yeah. Well, and I wonder how much of that, like bringing the Century here as a brand, how much of that is because it's been this very established, luxurious model in Japan as a singular model. So maybe this is the way to sort of mitigate like the intersection of like it was one brand, one model, but we didn't have it here.
Yeah.
So like you said, Ryan, like we don't know the only Century reference we have is the Buick.
And they're making them anyway, right? Might as well try to sell them other places.
Yeah.
So there's that.
Yeah.
Why not?
Watch out for the press car and the article online.
Autoblog.com.
If only they would follow me back on Instagram. That's what really burns me.
It's you need to put that in as jokes every time. Like at the end of your article, just love note to them. Follow me on Instagram.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and see if they pick up the hints. But you've got a few articles coming out, haven't you, on Autoblog? Can you talk about them, or is it too early?
I'll tell you about another. I'll tell you about one more. So I definitely want to write about our pal Tom's GT3 RS40, but more forthcoming in the pipeline. Actually, we're talking about Jay and Sheffield Watches, Jay Turkbus.
Nice.
So I sat down with him last week and had a nice discussion about sort of the genesis, if you will, of Sheffield and his story.
Done.
And he sent over some pictures today because I need some pictures for the article. And so there's some great shots and stuff. I really, really want, there's this legend of him getting this, Sheffield watch when he was 15 or 12 or whatever it was, right? And I was hoping that there was a picture of him like standing proudly with this. Ironically, I do not have a Sheffield watch. If you're watching this, but
don't look too closely. But anyway, moving on.
I will tomorrow. So I'm really actually very excited about that because he's got a great story. Jay's a great guy, and Autoblog's got like 2.3 million sets of eyeballs every day or something. So
there you go.
I'm looking forward to sharing Jay's story. So that'll be the next one.
Nice.
And eventually I'll get this Diablo article out. I swear.
Yes.
So.
Yeah. Third time's a charm.
The Diablo article is just the perpetual tease. He's like, by the way, I already know I'm never going to drive it, but I'm just going to keep teasing.
Yeah, next week.
Read all the other ones in between.
So enough plugs for me. How about a plug for Tori, who had an article in the Autopian this week?
That's right. He did.
Can we talk about that? Like that hit me out of, that was out of left field. Again, make no small plans. It was great. He wrote about
the car that he built, and he more so focused on the actual VW scene in the 80s in Southern California.
Yeah, it was great.
And he's written for the Autopian like over the years. He'll write about when there's something for him to write about. So yeah, it's really fun.
What a talented bunch.
Yeah.
But I know these people,
I know.
mean, this is...
Well, because he knows Jason. He got to know Jason Torchinsky in Pennsylvania because they both had Yugos, I think.
There you go. See, now you know.
That's the
ultimate
Jason on the show.
Yeah,
we do. Yes,
he'd be a fun guest.
They said they would come on. So
isn't that the first rule of Yugo Club, though? You don't talk about Yugo.
For very different reasons, though, than Fight Club.
Right.
Yeah.
Anyway,
good point.
Right on.
Yes,
you can tell I'm not really a member of the Yugo Club because I didn't know that.
There we go, and that's a proud thing. You should be be glad about that.
That's right.
I nearly bought one, and I'm lucky I didn't. But yeah.
How long ago was that?
When I was 17. 16,
okay, all right. Well, then you forget. Last week
that was nearly my first car, but I was talked out of it. So it had like a body kit on it and wings, and it was cheap and looked good. But
just to keep it stuck to the road at high speeds,
right? Yeah, active downforce, and it looks good. And it was a car, but I didn't buy it, so it's all good.
Amazing.
Are we at a show? Or
That's
what we're doing?
show. That's a show.
Yeah,
That's a good show.
Yeah.
We
covered a lot of ground tonight.
Yeah. Next week's guests. This is hot off the press. We have Danica Patrick and Jensen Button. So don't forget to tune in for that one.
Amazing.
Both of them together. That is going to be a corker.
Yeah.
But I guess we've got the phrase that pays.
And remember, always be driving Thanks so much for joining us, and we'll see you next week.
Until next week.